You're lying awake at 2 a.m., phone glowing against your face, scrolling through a stranger's perfect tropical vacation photos while your rent reminder pings for the third time this week, and your throat feels tight like you're about to cry over a life you didn't even sign up for.
What if I told you the exact cure for that 2 a.m.?
Panic has been hiding in plain sight for over 2,000 years. We're not talking about some vague, dusty old textbook philosophy that only stuffy rich guys in tweed blazers care about. We're talking about Stoicism, the brutal, unfiltered, life-changing philosophy that was made for regular people, for people who are tired of being pushed around by their own racing thoughts, by bad bosses, by unexpected bills, by the unrelenting chaos of modern American life. If you've ever felt like you're one bad day away from falling apart, this is the deep dive you've been scrolling for. Today, we're breaking down the core of Stoicism, the parts that actually move the needle in your daily life. No fancy jargon, number 10-hour audiobooks you'll abandon halfway through. We're going to start with the biggest lie you've been told since you were a kid, the lie that you have to be happy, that you have to be wildly successful, that you have to be liked by every single person you meet to be worthy of love and respect.
That lie is the reason you're crying in your car after a brutal work shift, the reason you force yourself to go to a birthday party you can't stand, the reason you take a job you hate just to impress people you don't even like.
Stoicism doesn't promise you a perfect, easy life. It promises you something far more valuable, the ability to stay calm, grounded, and at peace no matter what chaos life throws your way. Think about that for a second. No more spiraling panic when you get a random layoff notice. No more falling apart when your partner breaks up with you out of nowhere. No more staying up all night replaying that stupid, petty argument you had with a stranger at the grocery store last week. That's not some far-off, unattainable fantasy. That's what thousands of regular people, from Roman emperors to modern single moms working 2 jobs, have used Stoicism to build for themselves. Now, before we dive into the core rules, let's clear up the biggest, most persistent myth about Stoicism first, the myth that it's about suppressing your emotions, about being a robot who never feels sad, angry, or hurt.
That is the exact opposite of what Stoicism is actually about.
Stoicism isn't about not feeling pain. It's about not letting that pain take the wheel of your life and drive you off a cliff. At its core, Stoicism is built on one simple, life-altering rule, the dichotomy of control, the idea that you only have power over 2 things in this entire world, your own thoughts, and your own actions. Everything else. The weather, what your boss thinks of you, whether your crush texts you back, whether the stock market crashes tomorrow. That's all out of your hands.
That one rule.
It's the reason Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man on earth in his time, could sleep soundly even when his empire was being invaded on all sides, even when a deadly plague was wiping out half his population. Most of the stress you carry every single day, it's coming from wasting energy on things you can't control. The rude comment from a coworker. You can't control what they say. The traffic jam that makes you late to your kid's soccer game. You can't control the lights or the other drivers. The fact that your favorite coffee shop ran out of your usual order. You can't control their inventory. All that wasted energy. That's the weight that's been dragging you down for years, and Stoicism gives you the simple, practical tool to put it down for good. The F-8 Crusader shuddered violently as anti-aircraft fire tore through its fuselage. Alarms screamed across the cockpit, red warning lights flashing so fast they blurred into streaks of blood red. Stockdale's hands flew across the controls, but the wing had already sheared off mid-flight. He yanked the ejection seat lever with every ounce of strength he had left.
The blast threw him 500 feet into the cold, gray sky, and for 10 long seconds, he hung suspended above the enemy territory he'd been bombing just minutes before, completely helpless.
When he hit the ground, broken ribs stabbing into his lung with every ragged breath, he didn't panic. He thought of Epictetus, the former Greek slave who'd been beaten and crippled by his master, yet still preached that no external force could ever touch your true self. That was the first lesson of Stoicism he'd carry with him into the next 7 years of torture, starvation, and solitary confinement in the Hanoi Hilton. His captors wanted him to denounce the U.S. war effort, to break his spirit until he begged for mercy. They beat him until his back was a map of purple and black bruises, locked him in 3 by 3 foot cells where he couldn't stand up straight for 18 months straight.
One night, after 3 days of continuous beatings, he found himself curled on the cold concrete floor, convinced he was going to die, when he whispered Epictetus's words to himself, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things." He realized the pain was real, but the shame, the fear, the despair were all choices he got to make.
That small mental shift saved his life. When he was finally released in 1973, he was one of the highest-ranking officers to survive years of POW captivity, and he credited every second of his survival to those ancient Stoic lessons. But Stoicism isn't just for soldiers trapped in enemy prisons. It's for the single mom working 2 minimum-wage jobs in Detroit, trying to keep her kids fed after her husband lost his job in the 2008 recession. It's for the college student failing his first semester, convinced he's a failure before he's even had a chance to try again. It's for the CEO who just lost his entire company's savings in a bad investment, staring at the empty office walls wondering how he's going to pay his employees their final checks.
The core truth of Stoicism isn't that you have to suppress your emotions, or pretend bad things don't hurt.
It's that you get to choose what those bad things mean to you, even when you can't choose the bad things themselves. Most people hear the word stoic and think of people who don't feel anything, who push away every happy or sad moment like it's a burden. That's not what Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, taught over 2,000 years ago. Zeno taught that things like wealth, good health, and loving relationships are preferred indifference. They're nice to have, but they're not required for a good life. You can lose all your money, all your health, everyone you love, and still live a meaningful, happy life, if you choose to. Let's take that Detroit mom again. She can't choose that her husband lost his job, or that rent went up 30% last year, or that the grocery store raised the price of milk again. But she can choose whether she sees herself as a victim of a broken system, or as a fighter who's going to find a way to get her kids through school, no matter what. She can choose to yell at her kids when they spill their cereal, or take a deep breath, sit down with them, and turn breakfast into a small moment of joy before she heads to her first shift.
That's the quiet, unshakable power of Stoicism.
It doesn't take away your pain. It takes away the power pain has over you. The Stoics believed that true freedom was not found in wealth, fame, or power, but in the mastery of one's own mind. They taught that the chains of fear, anger, and desire were heavier than any iron shackles.
Imagine a man who owns kingdoms, yet trembles at the thought of losing them.
Is he free? Or is he enslaved by his own fear? The Stoics would say, freedom begins when you no longer fear loss. They urged us to see life as a stage, where roles change, props vanish, and the curtain falls without warning.
The only thing that remains is the actor's soul, standing naked before eternity.
So what does this mean for us today, in a world of constant noise, endless scrolling, and restless ambition? It means we must reclaim silence. It means we must learn to pause, to breathe, to resist the storm of distraction. The Stoics remind us, the world outside is beyond our control, but the world inside is ours to govern.
A single thought can enslave you.
A single choice can liberate you. They taught that philosophy is not a luxury, not a game of words, but a weapon for survival. When grief strikes, philosophy steadies the heart. When anger burns, philosophy cools the flame. When fortune fades, philosophy whispers, you still have yourself.
And what greater treasure could there be than the mastery of your own soul?
This is why Stoicism has endured for centuries. It speaks to soldiers in battle, to rulers in crisis, to ordinary people facing heartbreak. It speaks to us, here and now, in the chaos of modern life. The Stoics believed that wisdom was not hidden in books, but lived in daily choices. Wake up each morning and ask, what is within my control today? Can I choose patience instead of anger? Can I choose courage instead of fear? Can I choose gratitude instead of complaint?
These small choices, repeated daily, forge the iron of character.
And character, the Stoics said, is destiny. So let us not waste our lives chasing shadows. Let us not measure our worth by likes, followers, or fleeting applause. True worth lies in the strength of the soul. True victory lies in conquering oneself.
The battlefield is not out there.
It is within. And every day, we fight. We fight against fear, against envy, against despair. We fight to remain human in a world that tempts us to be less. This is the essence of Stoicism. Not cold detachment, but fiery courage. Not indifference, but resilience. Not escape, but engagement with life, armed with wisdom.
And now, as we close this journey, remember, philosophy is not a book you finish.
It is a life you live. So live it. Live with courage. Live with clarity. Live with compassion. And when the storms come, as they surely will, stand firm. Stand like a Stoic.
For in the end, the world may take everything from you, but it cannot take your soul, unless you surrender it.
This is your call to action. Do not wait for tomorrow. Begin today. Begin now. Choose wisdom. Choose strength. Choose freedom. And let philosophy be the torch that lights your path through the darkness.
The journey is yours.
The choice is yours. The time is now.